Good morning. Welcome to Courageous Conversations. And I am so pleased to be here on this somewhat gloomy day in Toronto, but I am filled with sunshine. And that is what we're going to go with today. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about letting the water in, and I put up a meme, which is, what water are you letting in? So I'm just going to do a little bit of sharing, and I would love you as well. And as you join me, let me know you're here. Let me know you're here. Whoa, I'm going to move my purse here because that's not a pretty... All right. I have my book there, you know? All right, so let me do a little bit of sharing, because I think sharing is a way to include everyone on the journey so that we can sort of be together on this process. And so I am going to share it on my group, Courageous Conversations, which I'd love you to join. That would be a really great thing for you to do, because it's a safe place for people to truly be able to share at an intimate level in a group, and I'm part of that group, so it's an opportunity. And also, I'm going to share on my Courageous Conversations page, which I'd love you to drop by and say hello and like it. And I'm going to share it also on another page of mine, which is my book, Find Your Self Culture, which is the audiobook that I'm going to give the result of the giveaway today. And I hope everyone's doing well and is on the journey. Yeah. And I just want to wait for a few people to come on. Thank you for those who are coming on. Hello. And where is everyone at? Hello, Malfara. Nice to see you. Welcome to Courageous Conversations. And I'm just doing a little bit of sharing. There you go. The thing about external energies, people that we're triggered by. The thing about all of that is that it's a common thing. It's going to be happening over and over and over again. That we can count on. That is something we can absolutely count on, because the truth of the matter is that there is such a tremendous amount of influence there's lots and lots of external influences in our life, and the truth of the matter is that there is an opportunity every time. Hi Andrew, nice to see you. There's an opportunity at every turn to not let that energy in, or to at least transmute that energy. And the truth of the matter is that I believe that going at the transmuting of that external energy without any kind of tips or any kind of tools is a much more complicated affair. So we've just come off the holidays. A lot of people are fabulous with the holidays, and then a lot of people are really triggered by the holidays, and really triggered by how much hi Wendy, nice to see you, how much the holidays have sort of entered their space and entered their being. And there's triggers, and there's reactions, and there's anger, or there's sadness, or there is a sense of malaise within, not feeling at peace. And so one of the things I moved to do, and at the office this week, I've been dealing with all of that. People just really challenged to keep the water out, as they say. So the meme is the boat that toppled over, and what sinks the ship is not the water on the outside. What sinks the ship is how much water you let in. And how much water you take in, and how much water you don't deal with. And it just takes over and takes over and takes over. Wendy, when you say disconnect, do you mean that I have disconnected, or you're feeling a disconnect? Explain that if possible. Anyway, so I would love there to be a couple people chiming in on what their experience is, but I just want to start to just give you some really important things. For me, when I work with people who find themselves, including myself, when I am overly triggered by others, and the holidays can certainly bring that on. The past can visit the present. I see. Feeling a disconnect with some of the family dynamic. Yeah, absolutely. There's that. Wendy, absolutely. But when I experience and when I see people experiencing a feeling that the externals are penetrating the internal, then there is this true opportunity for growth, for transformation. But it doesn't happen just like that. It happens because you yourself have done tremendous work to know who you are really, to really get in touch with I don't recommend anybody, hi Rick, nice to see you, anybody operate on the planet without doing the due diligence of really knowing your self-culture. My first book, Find Your Self-Culture. Hi, Yutushka. So the self-culture is the key to everything. And let me remind everyone about what the self-culture is. It's really going about the business of understanding what your culture is, what your set of habits, patterns, ways of being that are innate to you, not the patterns and ways of being that you have developed as a result of being defensive of the family culture. No, this is you troubleshooting yourself and saying, I don't want to repeat all the stuff that I see over here that really is something I'm habituated with, I've normalized, but is not who I truly am. The work is to get into the business of who am I really? Who is this person really? Before all the family dynamic stuff. Hello, Yutushka. Thank you for saying I look fabulous. I love that you said that. I put a little effort into the morning put together. But the truth of the matter is that the journey is, I wouldn't say it's easy, but once you get clear on making a commitment to, and that's through journaling, through therapy, through self-analysis, through troubleshooting the self, really looking at, what's truly innately you. When another person criticizes you, or another person judges you, or another person says triggering stuff, you're less apt to being so hurt about it, or so upset about it. Or if you are hurt, or you are upset, you will have an ability to be less reactive because you've decided, okay, I'm going to simply be the screen door. I tell people in my office, imagine yourself as the screen door. Let it come in, let it go out. Let it come in, let it go out. So that one of the tips is to commit to not allowing your being to be impulsive in your reaction to whatever is being presented to you. Even if it's something good, try to not go, wow. And that requires that you be grounded. So I myself do a lot of grounding before I'm in the company of triggers or known triggers. And, sometimes I'm blindsided. That's absolutely part of the journey of life. We get blindsided, but just really, 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 what does Wendy say? The key is to be the screen door and keep the trap shut. Yes, keep the mouth shut. And yeah, Yutushka says, know thyself. Exactly. And we do get to know ourselves by being in by being in contact with situations that trigger us. So I like people to do a lot of, I'm sure what you're saying, Yutushka, is pre-work, where you're like, this is who I am, this is what I need, this is what makes me happy, this is what works for me, this is what doesn't work for me. Like, it's so important to know yourself. And even if you have done the job of knowing yourself, you may encounter situations that you go, wow, I thought I knew myself about that thing, but I've discovered through this situation that doesn't work for me either. And that's okay. I think, Pema Chodron, a Buddhist nun, talks very much about making friends with yourself. Even if you're like, wow, I should really be more, amenable, more tolerable, more flexible. Well, maybe you're not. Maybe you're just not in a position to have that. Maybe, you don't have the bandwidth to just really be that at the moment. What you need to be doing is really, really self-caring and saying, okay, I don't have the energy for cooking so much, or I don't have the energy to cope with alcoholics, or I don't have the energy to sleep in a bed that's not mine, or I don't have the energy to, you know, be accommodating. Honor yourself, love yourself, or if you can't do that, simply make friends with yourself. Just make friends with yourself so that you are in a journey where all this external stuff, it's not like you're saying I'm isolating and I'm not going to be in relationship to the outside world, because that's not good either. Isolation, frankly, I believe stunts our growth. And I know it's tempting to get very isolative, but no, I do not believe that isolation is a good idea. You want to be in relation to the people that trigger you, not often, but a little bit, so that you are growing, so that you are evolving, and you are able to engage in a video I did, the law of allowance. You're allowing for situations to be there that may not be comfortable. You're working with yourself so that uncomfortable is something you can work with, that you don't just completely shut down when it's uncomfortable. I'm not a fan of people saying, well, it's uncomfortable, so I'm done, I'm out. Or, oh, that doesn't resonate with me, so I'm out. No, you want to work with it. You want to work with it, but you want to have the skill set to be able to work with it and not let it penetrate you, right? And that means being really nicely grounded. And that means also being clear about, like, pre-involving yourself with the externals. What is it that really matters to you? What is important to you, so that you don't feel like you're hi Mary, thanks for joining us. So that you don't feel like you're constantly toppled by the external energies. Wendy says, Mary Redder says, hi Connie. Who's Connie? She's awesome. Who's Connie? If she's awesome, I want to know who that is. Or are you talking about me? I'm not Connie, I'm Victoria. All right, so I can't be in relation to people who trigger me because it brings out the mean in me, and that is not me to be mean. Well, here's the thing, Wendy. You can be in relation, not often, maybe once or twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, with people that trigger you, because you need to find a skill set other than being mean to work with them. Oh, thanks, Mary. I hear that you're saying it's me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Share this video if this resonates with you. Share it with other people. So, Wendy, there are other ways to cope with those who trigger you. And one way is to understand deeply, have a dialogue with the trigger. At some point after the trigger, go into the privacy of your life and go, what is this trigger about? You know, it sounds strange, but have a conversation with the part of you that feels triggered. And deeply understand what the trigger is, because we get reactive when we feel that somehow they have a right to take away something in us. But that's not the adult self. That's usually the child self in action. That's usually the child feeling reactive. That's usually the child getting overly defensive. That's usually the child feeling like there's no recourse, so they need to overkill on the reaction to the thing that's triggering them. Morning. The adult doesn't feel like they're going to get toppled or invaded. The adult knows, I have a car, or not even a car, but I have my life. I have my being. You are not so powerful that you can take away my being. Don't give away all your power. Allow for the other person to be themselves, and just, feel compassion for their soul, who's obviously in need of being, whatever it is that they're being. That's their issue. Have compassion for that. So and Wendy says, I judge people who make their lives more difficult, and it must show on my face because I don't say much. I get triggered when one parent vilifies another, when what my dad did to my mom. I get it. I really do. I really, really get that. It's hard to watch people being imperfect. It's hard. Hi, Heather. Nice for joining us. Nice to join. I'm glad you're joining us. It's hard to watch people be human. The thing is, we're all human. We're all human, and we all have our humanity. The truth is that I would really, really like people to troubleshoot the trigger, troubleshoot the judgment, troubleshoot the non-acceptance. If you don't troubleshoot the non-accept, like the truth is that people are inhuman or are imperfect and human. People are that. And so our job is to find ways to very, very simply allow for the person to be human. You don't have to hang out there that often. You have to self-care. You have to, don't put pressure on yourself to be there that often. And and draw some boundaries gently, kindly, fairly draw boundaries. And yes, Yatushka, it's right. We are all works in progress. But the key to not letting the water on the outside to come in and sink us is for us to be very, very in touch with who we are really. To really be open-hearted about to be very open-hearted when you assess yourself, when you assess others, to be very, very open-hearted with your own being. And, the truth is that there's always an option to being mean. There's always an option. And if you do mess up, John Gottman talks about it, and I talk about it in my second book, we all fuck up. We all mess up. But fix it quickly. Apologize, own it, troubleshoot it, and then own it. Whatever it may be, work on that so that you're not feeling kind of wrenched in the guilt of your reaction. Because that becomes a rabbit hole. That becomes a rabbit hole. You know that you F up, and then then you feel guilty, then you feel shame. So you want to fix it quickly. You want to fix it quickly. And fixing it quickly may take on many forms. Hi, Vincent. Nice to see you. The fixing it quickly may be, may take on a ton of different forms. And the fix it quickly may be the apology. The fix it quickly may be troubleshooting the self and going, well, yeah, I really did need to react that way, and getting clear about that. It's about consciousness, real consciousness. And to me, being truly alive is to be very, very, very conscious and alive in that consciousness, so that you're not just a blind person in your life, okay? All right. So I hope that makes sense, because the key thing is not to just be at the mercy of the external world, because the external world is a challenge. I mean, the external world is, no matter how you slice it or dice it, the external world is going to be challenging. Yeah, I know, Wendy. What if we really like the person? The truth is that we are always in contradiction. Rarely is something happening without something else happening. Most times we are we love the person deeply, but we're deeply triggered by them. Super common. It's family usually, or deep old friends, and boy, love that person, but can't take this and this and this about them. This triggers me. This, all this stuff. It's the most common thing. Most people that we love do not trigger us. Most people that we love are deeply challenging and great lessons for us, and great opportunities for growth. That's just the way things go. And so that's not an exception to the rule. That is actually the rule. Most people we love deeply and are invested in deeply are the ones that trigger us the most. And then, there's those people we don't care about who trigger us. There's those, but we're fortuitous to deal with those people, because we can kind of go, we can be very dispassionate and logical. Well, we got to do this. I got to draw this boundary. Got to But it's those who we love, who are the addicts in our life, or the parent that we deeply love but can't get it together, or the sibling, or the best friend, or whatever it is. Those are the ones that you've got to really work on, that troubleshooting of knowing the self, drawing the boundary, fix it quickly when you F up. Try to be non-reactive and open-hearted about people's imperfections. Understand you're not going to get everything you want from them. Understand they're not going to change. Understand that you need to accept people for just who they are. And if you cannot, you got to work on your own lack of acceptance. And also understand that people are going through their own shit. That's just the truth. It is the truth. People are just going through their own brand of hell. And we need compassion for that. Most importantly, you need to make friends with yourself. And so you need to really, really be kind to you. Be kind to you. And and Wendy, just because you don't like someone doesn't mean that they're not there to help you and teach you and help you grow. So that's something to think about. Guys, I have a little bit of a draw. There were a number of people who commented multiple times and did some multiple sharing. So I'm doing a little bit of a a draw from yesterday's people. So here we go. Are we ready? Who's got a drum roll? Drum roll, please. All right, here we go. I won't look. It doesn't work to look. There we go. Got one. Leanne McCallum did a lot of commenting yesterday. So Leanne McCallum is going to get my audiobook, and I'm going to send her the code for that. She's not on today. That's okay. I'll send it to her in a message. And keep tuning in, everyone, because I have a number of codes to give away. And but Yutushka, you can get my video from yesterday just by going on my either my YouTube channel or my website, or even on my feed here on my actual Facebook page. Just go to videos and you'll see all my back videos. So Leanne McCallum did some really cool commenting yesterday, and so I'm gonna send her the code. But next week I'll have another giveaway, so do tune in again, okay? All right, I just want to wish you guys a really courageous day, and keep having courageous conversations with yourself. Join my Courageous Conversations group, like my Courageous Conversation page, and I just want to give you lots and lots of encouragement and love as we trudge through this planet and as we trudge through this life of ours, which is not easy, but wonderful and growth oriented. And I just want to say blessings, 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 and Happy New Year again. Okay, guys? Mwah. See you, and tomorrow I'm going to be in for another Courageous Conversation. So tune in. All right. Bye.